The truth about plastic water bottles is you're going to consume microplastics. Microplastics cause cancers, birth defects. It's known to cause a lot of medical issues. It's not designed to go in our bodies, and it's not good. They found it in human blood for the first time, in men's testicles, in the brain.
How did you end up going from being a guy who loves basketball to now running this company for 25 years, building this multi-million-dollar water company?
Oh man, now you're touching my heartstrings.
Meet Robert Hawkins, the owner of Go H2O, a veteran-founded hydration and purified water solutions company serving over 20 U.S. states, known for innovative, mineralized, and hydrogen-enhanced offerings.
PFAs are a huge thing right now.
What are they?
It's called the forever chemical. It's something they use to put out the fire. It ends up getting into our water sources. It's known to cause cancers. Our company does three things. The first one is we remove the contaminants from the water. The second thing we do is enhance that water. And then after that, reducing single-use plastic waste and helping prevent microplastic consumption.
If someone was watching this interview, if they had to take one specific action they could do today to make a permanent, better decision for water, what would it be?
I would say
Before we get into this epic interview, I have one quick ask. The data shows that almost 80% of you guys who watch the show aren't yet subscribed. So if you could do me one quick favor and click that subscribe button right now, it would mean the absolute world to us. And with no further ado, enjoy the show. Hey guys, welcome to this episode of the Passionate Few podcast. Today we have an incredible episode as we sit down for a full crash course education on water, something that all of us know, but do we really, with none other than my man Rob and Zach Hawkins from Go H2O. Thank you guys so much for being on the show today.
yes, sir. Thanks for having us.
Yes, absolutely. So let's get right into it. Before we get into your backstory, can you guys talk a little bit for the audience who may know water but may not know about Go H2O, what you guys do in the water space and what your guys' business is all about?
All right, excellent. Yeah, so we are a hydration education solution, and we've evolved to that. We started off as putting water vending machines that purify water for drinking, for people who have better, cleaner drinking water at an affordable price. Started that a long time ago. Then we started manufacturing our own product. We started doing it a little bit better, and then we realized in the hydration space, there wasn't a lot of education. Mm-hmm. People just thought water was water. A lot of people didn't like the taste of water, didn't realize the health benefits relative to cleaning the water, what potential hazards were in the water. Mm-hmm. And so we've kind of evolved the company from just cleaning water to cleaning the water, enhancing the water. And in this process, we've developed some technology and some equipment that allows us to work in a space and grow. We've grown to 21 states at this point, a lot of health food stores. And we have some new products coming out that are kind of going to be some of the best products on the market as far as drinking water.
Awesome, man. And then a quick question. How do you get into the water business, right? Because it's one thing to, entrepreneurs are starting different businesses in different categories. Some people say that, there's a million water companies. How did you end up going from being a guy who loves basketball, coaching, doing your thing, to, now running this company for, 25 years, building this multi-million-dollar water company? Where does that start? Where does the inspiration for that begin?
So that's a funny story in itself. So small town Oklahoma is where I'm from. Mm-hmm. We drank water out of the tap. I was an athlete. We didn't drink Coke and stuff like that when we were little. Fast forward, I left home. I was going to an engineering school when I was in the Navy, and we did distilled water. And I tasted distilled water for the first time, and I was like, something's wrong with this. This is witchery. This is not right. To the point, this was before 9/11, but to the point I brought it home. I brought half a gallon of water home to my dad, and I was like, you got to taste this. This is unreal. And I was infatuated. Now, as a kid, I was very much, as much as I like sports, and I loved chemistry, math, that side of. So I became a big time water nerd really fast because I had to figure this out. I had to understand it.
What was it about water that you were so passionate about or so curious about?
Well, because it was everywhere and it was so different to me. And the importance of it. I used to take pride, and don't judge me for this. I was a lot younger then. I used to take pride in going and getting a value meal at a Wendy's or McDonald's or whatever, and ordering water instead of the drink. Just from a health standpoint. So it's something I was aware of at a young age, that water was better than sugary drinks. I took a great deal of pride in my training, being an athlete, my health, stuff like that. And water was the easiest way. Well, in pursuit of doing that, I just kind of paid attention. I kept kind of nerding out about it. So yeah, that's the.
And how do you end up starting your first like water business? Come up with the name Go H2O. Like where's that idea born?
So, in all honesty, I kind of stumbled onto this. Loving basketball, I had several injuries. I've had 8 knee surgeries because of basketball. And so I got into cycling. And one of my buddies had some equipment that he kind of inherited. And he's like, "Do you know how to work on this?" And I was like, "Look at this little cute thing." And so I started working on it for him. I bought them from him, and then I started my own company with other equipment. And then kind of ran with it to the point where I started designing and building my own equipment that was kind of better. And
So you were always entrepreneurial kind of from the get.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. As a kid, I was always figuring out a way to kind of turn a dollar into 10.
Yeah. And then now it's a family business too, right? Because Zach's your son and he's also involved in the business.
Right.
So how cool is it to be able to like work with your family in it, and what does it add to the business dynamic in your experience?
Oh man, this is probably the greatest gift I've ever been given. I don't know why I deserve this, if I'm being honest. I get to work with my kids. I get to do something that's good for everyone. I get to teach them about business. I get to teach them about this side of it. They live a better life than I lived in terms of finances. And then my grandkids, he's got amazing kids, and they get to live it. And it means world to me. My brother works with me too. He couldn't come. He had to kind of hold the fort down while we were gone. But yeah, it means the world to me. This is amazing. I wouldn't, I've never chased money ever. My dad taught me chase success, money will follow. Put your name on it and just do it better than everyone else.
What was your first like sale in water? First product, first anything whatsoever?
So my first sale in water, I went to a company, they were called Vitamin Cottage at the time. And I got my water machines in there. And then from there I went to Safeway and Walmart and a few places, and I ended up pulling those out, kind of losing to Glacier, but I focused on.
How did you get your first deal or your first retailer, like ever? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I just went and pitched it.
Really just walked into the store?
Yep, that's exactly what I did. I went to a manager of the store, talked to them about what water they had on the shelf, and back then it was very little compared to what you would see now, and told them why, told them how, and then we went from there. It wasn't easy then.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier for me to do it now than it was then. Convincing people then, especially people, the Gen X group, were super proud of drinking out of the hose for some reason. But so once people started realizing the benefits, and then the businesses would realize the foot traffic that it would generate. I had a situation one time where a manager told the owner, she's like, "We got to do something about the water machine." She said, "There's too many people. People are cherry picking the water." He said, "So what do you want me to do?" She said, "Move the price up." He goes, "So let me get this right. You want me to increase the price so we have less foot traffic in my store?" He's like, "No, figure out how to merchandise around it." And then I was like, "Let's move this machine to the back of the store. You have to walk through your whole store." So the rest was history after that.
That's awesome. So the whole business model is predicated on taking that unique angle in a market where people would say it's seemingly super saturated. Instead of starting with the bottles, you guys start with your own sort of machines in the store. That way you get foot traffic, repeat customers, et cetera.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's awesome. And then for you to go from one state to 21 states, like how did that happen? Or that was just a matter of getting distribution through retailers?
Yeah, some of it was organic growth, and then others was, by need. I got to a place where people were hitting me up. Like everything, there's giants in the industry. I compare it to the auto industry a lot. There'll be times when Ford or Chevy will come out with a product and they take a bunch of dings, like Volkswagen did a few years ago. And so then everybody kind of goes away from, goes to something else. So I was kind of maximizing those opportunities. when things weren't going well for a company or whatever, I would come in and try to, I don't ambulance chase necessarily, I try to problem solve more than anything. And so I was able to do that, and then I wouldn't do it unless I could service it.
What do you mean ambulance chase?
So ambulance chase, this is my favorite thing, like Flint, Michigan, for instance.
Okay. The water crisis in Flint.
Man, you wouldn't believe how many people showed up trying to make a buck. And nothing against them.
Claiming to have the solution for
Yeah.
water, clean your water. Yeah.
Right. And so, and I don't know anybody that ran any scams necessarily, but a lot of people showed up trying to, take advantage of the opportunity, kind of like when the stock market dips, you start buying.
Yeah.
So it's kind of stuff like that. And so I don't do that. I kind of let people go in, and once people get a sour taste, I get a feel for, what worked, what didn't work, and then I try to provide a solution at that point. And then we kind of got in a niche space where I knew exactly how to purify the water. I knew how important our service was, because at the end of the day, I'm not making any kind of miracle water or anything like that, any different than any other of the really good water vending machine manufacturers make. So it comes down to the service. So we run our whole business. We literally meet with our guys at least once a week and remind them, hey, look, I'm only as good as the last person that touches my machine. So that's a huge priority for us in the service sector of our business, just like anything. You know what I mean? You buy something and you need it fixed, and they don't do a good job fixing it, you're just not buying there again. It's just how it
Customer
goes.
service. Yeah, especially with something like water. Yeah.
So that's another big one with the end user. I told a retailer recently, she was kind of grilling me about my service, and I said, no offense. I said, but I'm less interested in servicing the location customer. I said, I'm more interested in servicing the consumer. If I keep the consumer happy, you will definitely be happy by default, because they'll keep coming back. Which is another reason we're doing a lot of what we're doing right now. He does a really good job with this, with my location customers and my end user customers. In terms of, he's a lot better at speaking in layman's terms to them about what we do, why we do it, how we do it.
Translating in English.
Yeah, there you go. I'm a little more
Mad scientist.
Yeah.
Zach, what do you think the biggest misconception most people have about water is?
That all water is the same. A lot of people think the tap water or location, we're from Colorado Springs, a lot of people think, our city water is good. It's not as bad as maybe Pueblo, which is about 35 minutes south from us, right? And it's not. There's different things in the water, in different zip codes. We actually have on our website, you could type in your zip code and see exactly what is in your water. A lot of stuff you can't see, and sometimes you can't taste. So that everything is the same, that all the water is the exact same, and it is not. There's different things.
So, because people talk about, the average consumer sees things like pH, the pH levels, the alkaline levels, minerals, right? There's all these different, now there's like electrolyte flavored water or, non-flavored with electrolyte water. There's all these variations. So what are the things that actually matter to consumers who are maybe watching this or curious about water? What are the things that actually truly matter in water versus the things that are sort of trivial for people who are trying to decipher?
I think the things that matter is all personal. What do you do? What do you need? If you're an athlete or, even if you just like to go to the gym for 30 to 45 minutes, 5 days a week, you need those electrolytes, you need that salt, you need that retention to hold that water, to fuel your body. I would say personnel.
So what about when people say like pH levels? Is that misleading? When bottles say like different pH levels or they're marketed based on pH?
Yeah, so no, it's not misleading. pH is a very, so there's things that we're going to put this out in this way. That's a really good question. You'll see on a lot of bottles that pre-bottle, they'll say the pH of 9.0 at the time of bottling. And the reason for that, there are a lot of companies out there that do a really, really good job, make a really good product, but it creates hydrogen with the mineral content and so the pH reading could vary at the time, if you were to retest it once it got to the consumer. So at the time of bottling, it's very important. It won't vary that much. But pH is not, it's not a scam. Here's where I'm at with pH. It depends on what you use to increase the pH. If you're using, baking soda, you're probably not doing your customer a very good service. You're probably not going to sell a lot of water. If you're using high quality minerals, if you're doing things at a rate that people can, consume it, feel the effects of it, and understand it, and you can back it. This is where we feel really good about what we do, because I can answer these questions and feel really good, even though we pay more money for it, and we feel really good about the highest quality of how we increase the pH in our water.
Hey guys, we'll get right back to this video in a sec, but first, I have a quick question for you. Given that the e-commerce industry is growing by the trillions year over year, have you ever dreamed of owning your own e-commerce business like many of the guests we've had on the show, but maybe you feel stuck on how to start? Well, if so, you're not alone. The truth is, starting and setting up your own online store can be incredibly time-consuming, complicated, and get expensive. Not to mention the hassle of researching top products and staying on top of market trends that make you money. Lucky for you, that's where today's sponsor, StoreBuild.ai, comes in. With StoreBuild.ai, you instantly get a free custom-built, AI-driven store loaded with 20 winning products and a custom theme that can help you generate sales. All you need to do is head to StoreBuild.ai, enter your info, then simply sign up to Shopify for free, choose your store's look and feel, and voila! They'll send you your custom-built store ready to generate sales. The whole process is lightning fast. Whether you're just starting out or want to grow, StoreBuild.ai makes launching an online store easier than ever. So why wait? Visit StoreBuild.ai, and in less than 5 minutes, you could have the e-commerce business you've always dreamed of. Thanks to StoreBuild.ai for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back to the show.
And when you say like minerals, like what's the value add of minerals to water?
So like magnesium, for instance, I'll just use that one. So we're coming out with an H2 tablet. I've known about H2 tablets since 2009.
What's the H2 tablet?
It's basically a magnesium tablet you drop in your water, and it increases the hydrogen content of the water by upwards to 12 ppm. And I personally love it. I got it as much as I could for as long as I could, and then when I didn't have it, but the effects of it, being able to penetrate the blood-brain barrier, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, it is the #1 in the world over anything. You could eat a ton of blueberries in a day, and you couldn't eat as much and it wouldn't have the same effect as hydrogen water. I actually drink it 3 to 4 times a day. Drop a tablet in, but it uses magnesium to do it. It dissolves in there, increases it, and then you have to drink it, then once it's dissolved to get the full effect. But yeah, so certain minerals you need, like magnesium is a huge one. Magnesium is something we need in our bodies for K2 and D3 to work. Magnesium helps you sleep. Magnesium does an array of things, and to be able to use it in the water and also increase the hydrogen effect of the water is very, very healthy. It's a much, much better way to hydrate properly.
What is water at its most foundational root? I know H2O obviously, but it does so much for the planet. You mentioned off camera before that almost 70-80% of our body is made of water. 70-80% of the planet is water. Most living organisms couldn't survive without water. So in all these years, you've been working in water for a quarter of a century now, 25 plus years, almost 30 years. Right. What are some of the things at a foundational level that still are fascinating to you about water and how powerful it is and the utility of it for everything?
Well, that you just literally hit it on the head.
Yeah.
What are we doing without it?
Right.
Literally, we cannot exist without it. The things we enjoy don't work. We're car guys. We're sports guys. I can't clean my car without water. And then if I have water that has high mineral content, it leaves spots. And so everything you look at, the stuff what we cook with, what I make coffee with. I like coffee in the morning, and I use water with an alkaline blend that makes it super rich. Yeah, I'm a water snob when it comes down to it. But yeah, no, it literally fascinates me, the power of it, how much we need. You just can't turn anywhere. we're even doing something for pets. I have this horrible,
Like pet drinking water?
just regular drinking water, but promoting it through marketing.
Yeah.
Because I have we had a dog named Flick for a long time.
Flint?
Flick.
Oh, Flick.
Flik, that was my guy. But that was my youngest son's dog. And he ended up getting he lived to be like 15. He ended up getting a bunch of like cancer on him, stuff like that. And, we gave him purified water, but not all the time. For the most part, we used the hose outside. And I can't help but wonder how much longer he would have lived if I just gave him purified water the whole time. And shame on me for that. I don't make that mistake with my other dogs.
Yeah.
But that's a little guilt that I ride with.
That's funny, dude. I love your passion for the water.
So,
Yeah.
on in every aspect. Like we live in Colorado, so it's really dry climate, right? So we have basically a humidifier on our heater. In the winter, man, it gets really dry. And so, but I use purified water through that. I won't use anything else.
What about plastic water bottles?
So yeah, plastic water bottles.
What's the truth about plastic water bottles?
The truth about plastic water bottles is you're gonna consume microplastics. It just is what it is. I've known about microplastics for about 4 years now.
What are microplastics for the average consumer who doesn't know what it means?
It is literally what it says. It's bits of plastic. They come between about 1 micron all the way up to about 500 to 5,000. I think it's 500 microns is what they sit at. It's a problem. We just started having some people studying it where it was in human blood. I think in 2023 they found it in human blood for the first time.
Wow.
They've now found it in in men's testicles, in the brain. It's a problem, and I don't want to point at any one thing, and I don't want to say everything it causes. Because I don't know. I just know that it's not designed to go in our bodies and it's not good. In fact, a study just came out that they literally said filtered tap water could help reduce the consumption of microplastics by 95%.
Wow.
So I'd like to know where that other 5% is coming from, but you know what I'm saying?
And
I'm about to solve that.
What about tap water? What about people say that, the average tap water is fine in most cities around the country?
So when you say fine, it's relative. I will never, and I butted heads with some municipalities. There's nothing wrong with our water. Some people don't want fluoride in their water, like me. Some people don't want the chlorine in their water.
Why not?
How much you drink? Well, because it's not good for you. So I had a friend her dad was a dentist, and she had to have half her thyroid removed because she couldn't process fluoride properly. And he immediately was like, I gotta have these in all the houses. You know what I mean? We've got to remove fluoride. And he kind of changed his stance on a lot of things relative to. And so like chlorine, bad for your skin, bad for your hair. But if you don't put chlorine in the tap water, it's gonna come out smelling like a stinky fish pond or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's not that the municipalities aren't doing a good job treating the water. They are, but then you run into the other piece where they treat it here, and by the time it gets to you here, it's gone through what to get there.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. What collateral damage? Yeah.
Right. And so I always, I have pictures of filters where they have just slime and mud on them, and I've told people before, don't worry about it. If you don't filter it with this, your body will do it for you. And people, but even like we right near our house, they did a bunch of work on a road and they broke a line, and so they shocked the system with all this chlorine. It literally clogged my filters in my house in a day.
Damn.
It was that bad. And had I not had filters on it, like we're drinking this is going into my hot water heater, this is going into my showers, filters, stuff like that. And so again, nothing, I get nothing against the municipalities. You're doing what you can do, and if they did everything I could do and provide everybody with that, we would be paying more for our water than we pay for gas in our cars. You know what I mean? And it's ridiculous to think that they could do that. So that's why I'm in business. We want to provide a very economical solution to a healthier water for everybody across the board.
What are the biggest questions you get from most people about water in general?
Depends on what's going on. There was a time where I was getting a lot of questions about dead water. oh, you sell reverse osmosis where you take out all the minerals. And then I also explained to them everything else I take out. And now it's, oh, are you taking out PFAs? PFAs are a huge thing right now.
What are they?
It's something that comes from a variety of things. It's in our water across the board. It's called the forever chemical. It shows up. Like places like in Colorado Springs from firefighter series, the fires we had in the mountains. Promise you, in California, it's in the firefighter series. It's something they use to put out the fire. It ends up getting into our water sources. It's known to cause cancer. It's known to cause birth defects. It's known to cause a lot of medical issues for people. So, and the government is really working hard to put some things together. We were just at the Water Quality Association convention this week, and one of the big things there was a lot of people had different ways of fighting PFA contamination in city water. And there's going to be more things like this. It's always going to be something next, just like the lead in the water in Flint, Michigan. And I was getting to that actually. Municipalities clean the water here, and they pipe it to everybody over here. Well, the pipes that we're pushing, a Flint, Michigan problem is lead pipes. They had other problems too. I'm not going to dive into all that, but a big problem is lead pipes. Colorado, actually, the governor there did a really good job. In 2022, he passed the lead law. So basically, every single spigot in a school, preschool, after-school daycare, whatever, has to be tested for lead, and it cannot be above the maximum contaminant level. And so I think this is great because lead affects kids. We dealt with it with lead paint, stuff like that. So when you get into the questions that get asked about water most commonly, it's what hits the headlines. So we try to stay ahead of that, making sure that we're removing these things, making sure we have the capability and the answers. And if not, we fix what we're doing, or we enhance what we're doing to fix it.
And then on a practical level, I want to ask you guys is like, the average consumer who might be listening to this or watching this or maybe learning about water a little bit deeper for the first time, like say they go, okay, this is great. Maybe I don't have a Go H2O location by me. I'm sure you guys are growing pretty quick, 21 states and growing. But say someone goes, okay, what are the things I should be focusing on my water? How often should I be drinking water? What are the things that I, for my lifestyle, should even identify for water, right? Like, how do people go from literally knowing like, oh, I like that brand, or oh, it tastes good, to educating themselves, okay, like this is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3 when it comes to making a decision on like the types of water you want in your body versus not?
So that one's an easy one, but it's a step format for us, right? So our company does 3 things. The first one is we remove the contaminants from the water. The second thing we do is enhance that water. And then after that, we're also preventing, or not preventing completely, but reducing single-use plastic waste and helping prevent microplastic consumption, right? So, and that would become from the water bottles, from pre-bottled water. So the first thing I would say to anybody is you definitely want to hydrate more with water than you do anything else. We have some steps, and he's really amazing about this. His routine in the morning starts with, correct me if I'm wrong, 12 to 16 ounces of water with salt in it, Celtic sea salt or Redmond salt.
Right? So Celtic sea salt?
Yeah.
How much do you put in it?
I actually don't even put it in my water. I actually just pinch it and put it on my tongue, and then I drink about 12 ounces.
And what does that do for you?
It hydrates myself, replenishes everything that I've lost. I sleep 6 to 8 hours, sometimes 5 with when I have 4 kids. Not the most sleep, but replenishes myself. I actually follow it up. I actually drink. I'll go to the gym at about 5:30. I wake up about 4:45, and I drink in between 24 and 32 ounces before I even get to the gym. It seems like a lot, but that salt, it holds my water much better, so I don't get bloated. So it just helps me stay hydrated.
And what kind of salt is it?
Celtic salt.
Celtic salt. So you just take like a little pinch of salt?
Yeah, I got a big old container of it. Yeah. I pinch it, throw it in there.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
And for most people, like, do you recommend they do that for hydration, whether they're athletes or their day-to-day? Like, is that something that anybody could benefit from?
Every single person in the world, regardless of what you do, how you do it. I'm a big, firm believer on first thing I do, before I even brush my teeth, I will drink 16 ounces of water with Celtic Salt every morning.
Dude, that's awesome.
Well, so
awesome.
to help with your question,
Yeah.
so he runs it that way. So the first thing I tell everybody is drink more water. Start with more. It's almost
What's the amount?
it's-
What's the rule of thumb?
see.
People say half your body weight in fluid ounces.
Yeah,
and everybody has
I
these
don't
rules.
subscribe to that.
Okay.
And this is why. My activity will change during the day. Some days I will literally drink more than a gallon of water. And other days it's probably closer to, between half and three quarters of a gallon of water, depending on my activity level. I was traveling a whole bunch a couple weeks ago, and I was literally like, man, I haven't drank that much water today, what I mean? And but I wasn't getting the effects. Whereas the other flip side of it is I'm trying to kill a gallon of water, and I'm in a plane for 8 hours, and I'm sitting in a conference for 4 hours. You know what I mean? And all I'm doing is like trying not to pee all day, right? And so you kind of have to you kind of understand. Like, and I had one of my friends who ex-NBA player, his wife, Lil Petite thing. She's like, just tell me how much water I gotta drink. I hate water, but I know I gotta drink it. Right? And she weighs all of 110 pounds, right? And I said, listen, let's just try to get to a half gallon throughout a day, depending on a certain amount of exercise. So right now she's about to a half gallon a day, and she's like, I feel better, my hair's nicer, my skin feels better, I sleep better. And that's one of the things, like, just on the education piece. So we just try to drink more water, and build up to it if you have to, whatever.
Well, something that's always helped me, I got my phone, I got my keys, my wallet, right? Essentials. Well, I always have my water bottle, 32-ounce water bottle with me. I mean, I'll leave my wallet sometimes at home before I leave my water bottle, right? Because nothing's worse than, being parched, being thirsty, or even having to, I forgot my water bottle. I mean, water's not cheap. You're gonna go spend $3-4 type of water I like to drink, the alkaline water. So it's just getting in a great habit. I always like to tell people, start with, you eat 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, drink 20 to 24 ounces in that sitting. Put the soda or put the juice to the side. It does wonders.
Well, and getting thirsty. So we raise our kids this way too. Getting thirsty. When you get to that place, you're already
Dehydrated. Yeah. Tony Robbins talks about that. Yeah.
Exactly. And so with kids, the first thing you want to grab is something cold, quick, because you want to quench the tongue. Well, the tongue is the last thing. So they grab something cold, they grab something sugary, you know what I mean? And which is far worse. And just a side note, the only reason he leaves his wallet is because he's going to be with me and he's going to make me pay for everything. So, he's like, yeah, but I brought my water. No, but so we try to teach them. We try to stay ahead of it, stay ahead of the hydration. So then the next thing is, knowing what's in your water, right? So if, I had somebody call me up the other day and they're like, oh, I hate those pitcher filters and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, they're better than nothing. And she was shocked. And she was, well, how many pitcher filters do you have? I said, none. And I said, but I have the luxury. This is what I do. But if I'm in a situation, it's better than none. So like, for instance, when I go to a hotel, instead of buying pre-bottled plastic water, I'll go to the gym because 9 out of 10 times the gym will have bottled water delivered, or they'll have a reverse
Machine
osmosis.
or pen.
Exactly.
Cups,
Right there on site. So I'll bring my jug with me. I'll fill up with that. That's kind of the next thing. You have to be deliberate about it, and that's what he was referring to. So you have to go about your day making sure you're prepared. And right now, there was, during COVID, Stanley, no, was it?
Yeah, Stanley. It was Stanley.
No, it was Hydro Flask. Then
Hydro
Stanley.
Flask.
So Hydro Flask was first. Hydro Flask was selling out.
Is that the one where the car burned and then
That's Stanley.
that was Stanley, the Stanley Cups? Yeah.
Hydro Flask has that that weird flower design on it.
Yeah, something.
It's a great bottle.
I don't know.
Stainless
But it became a fad. People were buying them like crazy, and I loved it. And I'm like, but what are you filling it up with? You know what I mean? So I wanted to be that solution. And that's kind of a place we're going to anyway. But when we tell people what to do, drink more, right? Try to put yourself on a schedule. Try to stay hydrated before you're thirsty. Filter your water at the very least. And then as you become, we have a whole water snob thing going, and I'm proud of it because I'll go to a restaurant and I can smell it. It smells like swimming pool, and I'm just like, I'm not drinking it. You get started drinking is where you get started drinking healthier water. You smell tap water, you eat something.
You notice the difference, yeah.
Big
And
time.
how you feel, how it affects your head, your mood, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then part of what we're doing with the hydration education piece, you know, in the next, you know, actually moving forward, you know, starting in May, we'll have a ton of hydration education pieces where we talk about the benefits of lemon in your water, the benefits of putting salt in your water. Like for instance, you come to Colorado Springs is 6,200 feet elevation, right? So you come from LA, the likelihood of you getting altitude sickness is pretty good, right? So people, first thing everybody says, hydrate. Not only do you need to hydrate, you need to start hydrating the day before. You can't just hydrate when you show up. The other thing is you can't just drink purified water. You need salt. You need electrolytes so that you can hydrate your brain properly so you don't get the headaches. It won't always cure the effect. It isn't the solution always, but it definitely helps prevent it much better than just hydrating.
And what does lemon do in the water?
So lemon for a
you
lot
say
of
about
things.
salt.
Lemon does a lot of things. It helps with bloating. It helps with your gut health. I have a customer right now, and don't anybody just do this because I said it, but she puts lemon and cayenne pepper and does in her purified water, and does like a 3-day fast and or 2-day fast to do a cleanse.
Wow.
And she got it from somebody, but she literally loves it. She talks about how, and we're gonna have her on, do some marketing type stuff with her experience with that, because she'll lose a couple pounds, she'll feel a lot better, stop feeling bloated. She travels a lot, doesn't always eat great, doesn't, you know, because she's on the move all the time. And so it's things like that we're educating on, but more importantly, making you conscious of water from the time you get up to the time you go to bed. And then doing it properly, because like I said, I have a lot of people that complain about the taste. I don't like the taste of water. Then I have a lot of people that just don't know what they don't know, right? And then they'll have, you know, some basic questions like, oh, I saw this about, does this remove lead? Or does this remove PFAS? And so to get these answers and then get them on a path of just being healthier. And like I said before we started filming, this is for everyone. We are all roughly 70% water, right? I don't care where you're from. I don't care how tall you are, short you are, whatever. You know what I mean? We need water, and if it's the foundation of everything that we do, we should be putting the best water we can in us, and it's the least expensive thing you can do.
What's the biggest misconception most people have about, you know, the traditional water brands, especially in the U.S.? You know, you have things like Nestle, you have Fiji. I know you don't necessarily talk bad about the other companies, but I'm curious, like, what are the things that maybe they market that really may not be what's actually represented, if that makes sense?
Nothing. None of them market anything particularly bad or good. I would say with Nestle, Nestle provides a good product. The problem is the microplastics with those type of bottles. They're doing a good job in the bottling process. Everything's good. The product is good, except for the single-use plastic waste and the microplastic consumption.
Yeah.
And they don't market it that way. Otherwise, it's inexpensive. So for instance, like one of the things that we're going to do, I told you we were big basketball guys. I coached basketball for a long time. But you go to a you know, a soccer field or a basketball court where there's a tournament, and go look at the bench when they clear. There's plastic bottles everywhere.
Right.
And every single one of these kids is consuming microplastics.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, we got to do better, right? And so, I don't want to, like, I'm not mad at Nestle. It's better than drinking tap water, right? But at the same time, man, we're really not setting a good example. There's got to be a better solution. There's got to be a better product for our kids. And I want to solve that before I want to say anything negative about what everyone else has done. And I will say this, before microplastics was an issue, a topic, I had no problem. I had zero issues. I would have bottled it myself. I would have been Nestle. You know what I mean? I would have done what they did, not knowing. But now that I know, I want to be able to put out a better product. I want to be able to give people an opportunity to make better decisions for their health.
Yeah, and I love that you mentioned during the basketball game, you saw that. Switching gears here a little bit, you talked about how early on in your career, like sports was always something super important to you and the family. What does sports teach you about life and business?
Oh man, now you're touching my heartstrings. So I grew up. My dad was a coach.
Basketball?
Basketball coach, yeah. And I was a really nerdy kid, and I was his oldest. And that poor guy, coach, he's baseball, boxing, basketball, football, track. He was it, And I wanted to climb a tree. I wanted to build models. I didn't want to do any of that stuff, but I wanted to hang out with him.
Yeah.
Poor guy. No, but anyway, I kind of popped through. I kind of popped through, but he just taught me things. He learned how to press my buttons. He learned how to make me use my brain. And then he taught me about work. And about 11 years old, I kind of came out of my shell a little bit. I started competing. I had a little growth spurt, and so I tell everybody, having coached for as long as I've coached and mentoring kids and stuff like that. Everything that I learned to do from sports. I learned hard work. I learned goal setting. I learned sacrifice. Sacrifice is a huge one. I learned independence. There were times as a child, I'm in a situation with a game or a coach or whatever, and I turn and look at my dad, and he's just like, "Don't look at me." And I'm like, I got to figure this out. You know what I mean? And then reflection. You know what I mean? Fixing it. Not living in your successes, but learning from your mistakes in the pursuit of. And then the other piece was the mental aspect of it. He is as competitive as I was, and I had a ridiculous fire in me to win. And he knew this, but he knew I wasn't going to win every time. And so he was always like, "What does that mean tomorrow if you don't win today?" And so
I like that.
There's a lot of answers.
What does it mean tomorrow if you don't win today?
Well, where do I go? Can I be proud of what I did to get there? And so I took the no regrets effect, and I learned this from him. He said, if you can look back at yesterday's loss and understand that you did every single thing you could have done, and that day they were just better than you, what are you going to do tomorrow? Now, what you may learn is you made all the sacrifices. You put in all the work, but now maybe it's time to rethink the work. Maybe you do the work differently, better, improve it. You know what I mean? Study it, use the mental side of it. You increase your IQ to see in reflection what you could have done to win, and then you have won. But more importantly, if you can't transition this to your teammates, to your kids, then it doesn't matter what you do. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so for me, which was a really cool kind of piece, working with my family. So I've
Comes back full circle.
Man,
Yeah.
oh, man, you have no idea. I don't. I have one goal, and I have a lot of little goals, but I have one big goal at this age right now. I do pretty good. I can retire if I want to, but why? Why when I can, make my boys millionaires? You know what I mean? Why when I can teach them how to make their kids? You know what I mean? When I told my youngest, I said, this empire ain't gonna build itself, and if it's up to me to build it, it's gonna take too long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's dig in. Let's do this.
Pass the torch down. Yeah.
100%. And I've had, I had a pretty wicked competitive streak in me, and so did he, and so did my youngest. We have a few.
What's been the biggest challenge in growing the business overall, would you guys say?
None. To me, I ran as a lifestyle business. I did what I wanted. I didn't have, I had some setbacks for sure. Like I was buying equipment from people, right? And then they would sell, and then I couldn't buy.
Did you ever get into cash crunches when you were growing the business or expanding the business?
Oh yeah, for sure. But you just figured that out. I was a hustler. One of the things, we were having a conversation the other day about the flea market. He wanted to take his kids to the flea market. I was like, why?
Memories.
To humble them?
No, I used to drag them to the flea market all the time. I'd go to the flea market, shop, flip stuff. I flipped cars, flipped bikes. I built motorized scooters out of lawnmower motors and scooters, and would flip these things out and turn it into buying water machines and growing and money down on buying a house, stuff like that.
Wow.
I had if there was a way to earn from it, I was figuring it out.
Oh, we did cool things. We would go to the flea market every Saturday, and it got to a point where it was just me and him all the time. And what he would do is we would buy 3 or 4 used lawnmowers, $5-10. We find a couple scooters, just a push scooter, and motorized scooters were coming up. Well, we just, I always wanted one, but they were expensive, especially $500 back in the late 90s was,
of course, that's
a lot. So he take these to the garage, you take 3 scooters, 3 lawnmower motors, and I'm sitting here as 9 years old. I'm like, I don't know what we're about to do. So he built them. He put the motor, he took the motor off the lawn, the weed whacker is what it was, not a lawnmower, but and he connected it to the back wheel and made a motorized scooter.
And he's selling it.
Yep, well, he'd keep one for me, sell the other 2 to make our money back. So we take that, we'd have some profit, we'd go back to the flea market, do it all over again, I mean, he built it for myself, my buddies, all the time. We had custom ones. I still have a friend to this day from kindergarten. And in his garage, I was just at his house not too long ago. In his garage, he pointed up, and we had a mini bike, a kid's bike, right? And he put a weed whacker motor on the back of that. And he hung it up. He was like, I'll never get rid of that thing. Yeah. And it was one of the coolest things.
Hey guys, quick question. Have you been enjoying this video, but you're thinking to yourself, man, I love this content, but I want to learn how to grow my brand or my business? Well, if your answer is yes, you're not alone. In fact, millions of entrepreneurs deal with this exact same issue. And it's something that I've learned the answer to from interviewing 7, 8, and 9-figure entrepreneurs around the world. And this philosophy that solves all that is a concept called who, not how. Now, the who, not how philosophy states that anytime you're stuck on the hows to get to the next level in your life, your brand, or your business, that there's always a who to help you get there. And it's for this exact reason that I'm super excited to announce that I've officially launched our brand new Passionate Few community to help you do exactly that. And yes, it's 100% free. Join me and the thousands of other entrepreneurs that can help you make your life, your business, and your dreams a reality. With no further ado, let's get back to the video.
That's awesome. What do you think gave you an unfair advantage in the water industry? Because I'm sure there's a lot of competitors. I'm sure there's a lot of pop-up different companies all the time in the water space. What do you think you've been able to do really well that has allowed you guys to kind of, have a lot more longevity than most or withstand the test of time? I know now you're scaling into even new product categories, but what do you think you guys have done well that most people didn't? Because water is not an easy business to crack into.
So constantly learning. Constantly getting better. And I'm gonna go back to basketball. My dad was like, I was coaching and my dad showed up and the team wasn't very good. And I looked at him, I was like, yeah, this team's, they kind of suck. And he looked at me, he was like, they suck, you suck. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. He goes, if I had a team like that, I wouldn't state championship. And I was like, what? It was my dad, so I didn't really question him like that, but I was like, hold on, what do you mean? He goes, let me tell you something. He goes, when you think you know it all, hang up your whistle. He goes, because the second you know it all, he goes, everybody's passing you. He goes, and that applies across the board. And he goes, you haven't arrived. He goes, until you are in the casket, then you've arrived at your final destination. That's it. He said, but if you're not learning, you're dying. And so I literally raised my kids that way. I put it to, I am always, just like we were at this water quality convention. I'm absorbing constantly how much I can learn, what's next, what's new. And I'm taking him around, I'm showing him things. I'm like, what do you see? What do you see? This is what I think. We can use this here. We should do it. We can combine these two. This is better. This is who could use that, right? But that's also fun for me because I got a big time nerd side of me that's kind of weird. And so combine that.
That's kind of weird.
It is. It really is. I don't even know how to say it. And I don't mean it bad. Like I've said it a couple times and people are like, don't call yourself weird. That's not okay. And I'm like, yeah, but it's good weird. Like I'd rather be weird me than weird you, but one of the things that to kind of help answer your question again about, you run into different situations where maybe money or whatever, the obstacles. I was listening to a speaker one time and he said, he was talking to these recruits and he said, listen fellas, he said, when one door closes, another door opens. You just gotta trust the process.
Right.
Man, that really irritated me.
Why is that?
I was like, well, because I had this visual in my head of me about to walk through a door and it just getting slammed in my face. And I was like, nah, man, I don't like that idea. So instinctively, I'm like, well, I'll just kick the door down. You know what I mean? But that doesn't always work because maybe the door closed for a reason. And so then I had a visual of myself, okay, I don't kick the door down, but now I'm standing there twiddling my thumbs, waiting on the next door to open. What does this mean? What does this look like? Like, I don't like this feeling, right? And So then I just was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna make my own door and open and close it whenever I feel like, and that's how that's gonna go. And so that's why, if I want to build my own door and open and close it whenever I want to, I have to stay ahead in my industry. I have to. I used to tell everybody, everybody's like, oh, make yourself relevant and you to your whatever industry you're in. And I was like, why just relevant? I want to be necessary. You need me. You have to have me. And then doing things on a personable level. I've been in situations with grocery stores opening up, and I was there, and they were having a hard time with health inspection, and I knew how to fix it, so I just did it. To the point where people will call me outside of my category, and be like, "Hey, do you have an answer for this? Hey, can you help us with that?" And one guy calls me, Kevin, and he'll be like, "Hey, how's the smartest guy I know?" And I'm like, "Kevin," and it's about it's not just about water. It's about a lot of things, but I will do for that, and I will do for them because I like to be necessary. Because if you're necessary, you have a place, and people will pay, and then you earn trust, and that's the other piece, is earning trust, and that was another thing. I did this relevant in basketball. I had these young guys who I knew were really good, but they didn't really believe they were good.
Right.
And I would pull them aside and I'd be like, listen, I understand confidence comes from doing. So the more you do, the more confidence you'll have, but you're young, so you haven't had a chance to do. You know what I mean? But I have confidence that you can do this. So I need you to steal my confidence so that you can do this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you can give it back to me when you earn your own. And so we kind of fell on these things.
How often do you catch yourself sort of giving wisdom or downloading wisdom to the kids or the next generation that you got from your pops? Is that what's happening a lot of the time?
It's literally all the time.
Yeah.
It's literally all the time. That guy was a legend in terms of raising me, and what a remarkable job he did. Not that I turned out to be anything crazy or anything, but
what did your pops do for a living?
So he was a coach, and then he decided to get out of it when I hit about 13 years old, because he was getting too much flack from coaching his own kid. So he decided to move back. We lived in New Mexico at the time. He decided to move back to Oklahoma, and then things went south as far as the economy and stuff like that. So he was doing all kinds of stuff, but he worked in the school districts. Decided not to coach anymore, but he's kind of a jack of all trades. Did some framing, carpentry, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's awesome.
He worked a lot with his hands, but man, he was had way more wisdom than anybody else I knew.
Yeah.
Coming right to this day, and literally try to grow the wisdom.
And he got to see Go H2O in Momentum.
So he got to see it before he passed. He got to see it when in the first few years when I was doing it, and it was funny. Had he not passed away, we'd joke around that he'd be the king. He'd be running. I'd be just answering questions. He'd be
the customer service hotline.
Yeah, he was that guy, and like I remember bringing him and showing him and stuff, and he's like, "You're not doing that right. Do it this way." And I was like, "Yes, sir." And I knew I was doing it right. You know what I mean? But yeah, there was a lot of things that he taught me that I've been able to pass down to a lot of people. And one of the things that I wish I would have known as a young coach was the impact that I was going to have long term.
What do you mean by that?
With kids.
Like the ripple effects of what you teach them at the workout or in the season, compared to like how it translates later in life. Yeah.
And that and the effect of how they view you. I have people coming back as adults to talk to me and ask me and thank me and stuff like that. And, I feel like I did a good job, which is why they're coming back, but I just wish I would have been more conscious of it, and maybe I would have done more. And I wonder sometimes, was my dad conscious of it? Did he know like it was going to be like this? So grateful to him that I had a good foundation to make some of the impact on some of the guys that I did, and then also be able to literally live this life. Yeah. We have a standard we live by.
What do you think most entrepreneurs get wrong about business? Like when you obviously, you just came from a 10X Growth Con event. You've had success in your own business. You're growing it with new, product categories. But there's also a whole other world of entrepreneurship that's brutal, right? Success or failure, right? It's a roller coaster. A lot of our audience are entrepreneurs. Some are existing entrepreneurs. Some are entrepreneurs maybe just starting in their business, men or women around the world. What advice would you give to entrepreneurs out there who are sort of trying to find their niche or trying to find their, their version of Go H2O, right? Their own sort of vehicle to put their all into, but maybe they're struggling to figure it out. Being on this side of the fence, what advice would you give entrepreneurs who are aspiring to make their dreams a reality?
Man, all right, I'm gonna use another basketball term.
Yeah, let's do it. Big question, I know.
Embrace the suck, because it is going to suck. There are times where you're gonna feel defeated. There are times where you're going to feel like it's not worth it. It's easier to go work for your competitor maybe. And I've actually been offered a lot of money to go work for my competitors. But I didn't like, putting what I knew I could do on hold to go just earn a paycheck.
Right.
And I actually learned this from a guy named Ned Overend, pioneer mountain biker.
Ned Overend?
Yeah. And we were at a mountain bike race one time, and I was watching him get interviewed in Atlanta right before they made, or right when they made an Olympic sport. And he was getting interviewed, and he said, listen, everybody in this class can win the race. It's literally going to be who can suffer the longest that wins. And there's a balance to that for sure. Don't kill yourself. Don't sacrifice your family for it. But understand that if you're seeking balance in the immediate, you're probably not going to succeed. You need the pain of the suck to figure out how to get through it, to then seek balance. Balance is a destination for me. Happiness is not.
Yeah.
Balance is a destination like success. There will come a time, like right now I have pretty good balance. We live pretty well. We do some things. I am creating the suck because I'm showing my boys like, look, let's do this at a level that's generational. You know what I mean? Let's do this in a way that is remarkable to the stamp you put on who you are, your legacy for your kids, that they know that you made sacrifices, that you led them down a path. You made them uncomfortable so that they could be successful. And having that mentality to embrace it, you'll figure it out really quick that you can really do a lot of things if you lean into the hard things.
The obstacle is the way.
Absolutely. Well, and that's another one. Everything you want is on the other side of hard. You know what I mean? Really, you want to drive a nice car? Well, they're not free. You know what I mean?
Pick your hard.
Yeah, pick your hard. Choose your. And that one's been a popular thing lately. It's hard to be poor. And it's hard to get to the place to be rich.
Yeah.
Pick your hard, but either way, the path is hard.
Well, it's like Grant Cardone says. He goes, "It's hard being rich, but it's harder being poor."
Yeah, for sure, sure. Well, and then the other thing is, I think that I would tell everybody about everything, whether you're an entrepreneur or not. Man, if you, and this is going to sound really cheesy, but I've actually been able to do this my whole life. Find the happiness in today. That every day there's something. I have English bulldogs, and my youngest one, Kobe, I could have the worst day ever. And I'm like, this little meatball,
Yeah.
And it just and she makes me happy. It's stuff like that. Enjoying the gym.
Enjoying the simple things. Yeah. The
Yeah,
controllables.
for sure.
Yeah.
And well, they're right there. They're right there if you just pay attention.
Versus being in your head about, I got to get to X revenue, or I got to do X thing, or accomplish Y, or whatever it is. Yeah.
Well, and I had the confidence from doing. I've done it before. I'll do it again, and I do. So I know I'll get there. So whatever was wrong today, it doesn't have to be a bad day.
Yeah.
Completely. I can still, have that happy moment. I'll tell you what my favorite thing to do is go to his kids' soccer practices, watching my son coach, watching my grandbabies.
You coach as well?
I coach.
Oh man,
Nice.
he's a bit of a legend.
So you coach soccer and basketball, or?
I coach basketball, football, soccer. Man, I mean,
Nice.
whatever my kids want to do, I'll figure it out.
What do you guys think makes a good coach?
Ooh, that's a good question. For me, it's just, I love seeing kids grow. That's the biggest accomplishment for me. Right now I coach, I got a 6-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old daughter. My 9-year-old daughter, I've been coaching her same team for 5 years now.
Nice.
And it's a regular recreational, anyone could sign up.
Right.
I had the same 11 girls sign up when they're all 5 years old, and now they request me every single year. I build bonds with these people. But
awesome.
I've had girls in particular that they first come to me and their parents are like, hey, so-and-so is super shy, so-and-so is not confident.
Right.
After 4 or 5 years, these girls, I get hugs from them every day. Their parents thank me. I mean, their confidence speaks volumes. And to see that, just the impact that I have for an hour to 2 hours a week in their life, in their everyday life, and they get to come up to me, hey, Coach Zach, I did this. How's your day? I mean, that is just the most beautiful thing to me. And then at the end of the day, we're just playing some soccer. We're just having some fun. So I think growth for me is probably the most.
And both of you guys have experience being on both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
So you know what you need to hear from a coach, and then also you can talk to them, meet them where they're at. You know what I mean? You can talk to them at the human level. Yeah.
And if I as their coach don't believe in them, well, how could they believe in themselves?
Right.
Right. So. Yeah.
Well, the other thing is practice what you preach. Practice what you preach. As an athlete, I had a hard time listening to somebody who wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
You haven't walked my shoes. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And not that everyone has to play at that level or has to be at that place, but be a part. Rick Pitino makes his entire staff work out. He's like, why are you, and set a goal, whether it's a weight loss goal, whatever, something, a healthy style goal. Because how can you coach these athletes if you're not living the same thing? How is it received? You know what I mean? Do as I say, not as I do. We're in this together. We win together, even though I never make a shot as a coach. My record is your record. You know what I mean? Your heartbreak's my heartbreak. And but I think what one of the things that if you can garner their trust. Some of my best teams were my toughest teams, and we didn't have a great record. But these kids would run through a brick wall for me, and teaching them that piece,
And camaraderie and teamwork. Yeah.
I had this past season, a kid that I coached in high school was my grandson's head coach.
Okay.
I'm sitting in the stands, like feeling like a king. You know what I mean? Yeah. Watching this beautiful thing happen, and the effect. And they come and they talk to me, they hug me. One of his teammates, who's now an athletic director up in Denver, was there, come and give me a hug and wanted me to talk to their coaches. To live that life and have these guys be that way because you are exactly who you told them to be. You walk that. You know what I mean?
You lead by example.
Exactly. And to have those things and then to do this at a level where, I find great joy in all that. And has nothing to do with the amount of money anybody has one way or the other. When I get to be that, do that, I get to do that with my family, my kids, my youngest son.
Life by design, yeah.
Yeah, my youngest son's a freshman. Division I basketball player, 6'3", 230-pound point guard, plays above the rim, and he is one of the most respected kids on every team he's ever been on since we can remember. But a whole bunch of that respect came from what he did before him, right?
The foundation.
And and so who his dad was, and so I always told him, I said, you just were catapulted into. You know what I mean? You kind of got slingshotted into a good place. It's what you do with it now. You know what I mean? And that's a hard thing to do.
100%.
and following the shoes of, but we also are like, we know we went a certain distance, and then we had that momentum that we slingshotted the next one into, and so we keep pushing them the right way to get them where they want to go. And that's how you build the empire, man. That's how you get to the top. That's how you build the pyramid. You know, you start somewhere and keep pushing all the way to the top, because the top doesn't happen without the bottom. You know?
I love that. Yeah, no, very cool. What about how the Go H2O name was started?
So I got to be 100% honest. I did a bunch of stuff. I sat down with a guy who's a marketing guy, and we went back and forth with a bunch of names. I was not creative in that aspect.
What were some of the other names you thought of?
Water Center USA, Pure Water Tech. We had awesome basic, but I kept talking. I said, I need something
Catchy.
that is us.
Yeah, it fits our lifestyle.
Something that moves. And he was like, boom, Go H2O. And I was like, you know, let me see it. And then he did it like that. And I was like, that's it, you know.
Yeah.
And then so I sat down with my marketing lady, and she was like, oh my goodness, this moves. This is you. This is, you know, you embody this. When people ask, you wouldn't believe how many times we've gone on an airplane or just gone somewhere. People are like, hey, is that alkaline water?
Yeah, yeah.
What does it
What
mean,
is that?
performance water? What, you know, and you got a website? You look that up, you know, goh2o.com, you know.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of engagement from it. And what we're doing now is we got some marketing things coming up. Where do you go with your H2O? You know what I mean? What he was kind of talking about.
Yeah, I love what he was saying too about on your guys' website, Go H2O, that people can put in their zip code, you were saying?
Yeah.
And actually see the quality of their water in their area, yeah.
And so that's a third-party website, so it's not even us, like, we can't manipulate it at all.
Right.
It actually collects data. I believe it's ewg.org, and you can put it in there, and it'll tell you all of the
Contaminants.
Contaminants, but not just the contaminants, but what they've gone over, their violations, the things that have exceeded the maximum contaminant levels or whatever.
Wow.
And so it's really good just from an information piece. But yeah, man, the Go H2O thing, we like it. We were able to embrace it. It's kind of it's us.
And it has mass appeal too. People get it. You know, they get it. It's like quick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it moves a certain way. And
go.
we want it to be, yeah. We got a super cool marketing thing coming up that has nothing to do with anything. The influencer, I'm going to keep it to my chest right now, but the influencer everybody knows and has never met him. I'll leave you with that. His name is Gio. So
Nice.
yeah, that kind of a cool thing. But
And in terms of the actual water, I know you guys, like you mentioned at the top, is like you guys actually sell the machines in stores, through the machines in the stores. But you guys might also be launching, mass market opportunities for people to consume the water as well. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah,
that you guys have in the pipeline?
So we have a couple things in the pipeline, and it kind of falls back to your question about how people get started. So we'll have some residential units that are high quality units, very, very good.
It's like water filters in the homes?
Yep, water filters in the homes. And then we have a product going out that can go into your, like I have a whole slew of businesses lined up that want these in there at their shops, at their buildings, at their offices.
Facilities, yeah.
Facilities, gyms, stuff like that. We have a bunch of that coming up. And then we have the H2 pills. Like I have H2 pills with me right now. I've had 3 glasses already today. So it's something I bring with me all the time so that when I get the water. But yeah, the products we have coming out, we want to make sure that you have access to high quality water everywhere you go. And how we're able to do this, the demand is there. And even in some places where they don't even understand the need. He was talking to his father-in-law the other day. He was a great guy. And he's like, man, I just don't get it. 5 minutes down, he was like, I'm in. Here, I'll give you an example real quick. Largest school district in Colorado Springs, Colorado, gets Costco or Sam's Club bottled water delivered to them. Okay, so They get it delivered to them. The kids get it at lunch if they're part of the lunch program, and then the teachers get it throughout the day, all day long. I'm not going to say the number, but it's a six-figure number that they're spending every year on this, and there's no sustainability there. So now you have microplastics you're giving to kids, teachers too. You have single-use plastic waste, and because nobody's going to drink out of the water fountain.
Right.
You know, and since COVID, I mean, COVID really, literally just kind of blew the whole thing up, where, you know, nobody would drink out of it anyway. We have things that we were deemed necessary during that whole thing.
Did that mess up the business at all, COVID during that
It
time?
increased the business.
Really?
Yeah, we had massive growth in the business. We had roughly 21% growth in 2 years.
Wow.
And we haven't lost it. It has not fallen off. It has been steadily growing since. But we want to solve that problem, you know what I mean? And again, the school district's not doing anything wrong. They're doing the best they can relative to what they have. They just don't know what's out there.
Right.
So we're providing a product that can go in there. They have access to good, healthy, clean water all the time. Their carbon footprint's much lower, you know, because they're not wasting all the plastic. They're not getting a bunch of
And you're
water
able to do
delivered.
it cost effectively, right?
Very much so.
Because that's the big misconception people have. You know, even with friends in a gas station. So I can imagine school districts, people evaluate based on price. Oh, water's the same. It's just different packaging. You know what I mean? People have those micro judgments on it. But when you're talking about schools and kids, you're talking about like making huge decisions at scale that have ripple effects through time. So yeah, I love
Yeah, and
that
so
you mentioned
budget-wise, I've actually shown them how they can do it in the same budget that they're spending for the next 3 to 4 years. I can kit all of their schools, and then after that, it drops down significantly to less than a third. It would probably be about 26%, about a fourth of what they were spending for me to maintain it. And that's the other piece of this. One of the things that separated me from everybody else, like I said, is the level of service. Our service has to be top notch. You know, go to a Ferrari dealership, take a Ferrari. The level of service you get at Ferrari is just different than you get somewhere else, right?
100%, yeah.
And that's who I want to be. I want to service it, but it doesn't have that Ferrari price, right? It's got the Ferrari quality. We got the Ferrari service, but it's actually saving you money. So to me, this becomes the no-brainer, and that's who I want to be. That's who I want to be for future generations. That's who I want my family to be, carrying the business on. And we stand by this, and we believe in it, and we also know there's a huge need for it. And impactfully, you know, I know California is another one that really concerned with single-use plastic waste.
Correct.
And even the grocery stores, correct me if I'm wrong, you can't even get the plastic bags at the grocery stores.
Correct, yeah, no.
Yeah, which is awesome. That's great. And so we're doing our part on this side, shutting that down. Again, not to, I saw Smart Water today that was in an aluminum bottle. Great concept, thank you. And what's cool about that? You can refill that thing as many times as you want.
Yep.
And what you're refilling it with, you got to come to Go H2O for that. But that's same quality, right?
Yeah.
But I love that. I love that the adjustments being made, because Smart Water is high quality water, and you are getting a better version, right? It's a little bit more. Does it make you smarter? I don't know. But
The choice is smarter.
One, it's great marketing, but if you're choosing the aluminum bottle, which is infinite recycling ability, refillable. Man, I think that's long-term healthy intelligence. Right there.
Yeah, phenomenal. Step one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before we wrap up, I want to ask 2 more quick questions. Sure. And then at the end of every interview, we play a quick little game.
All right.
So it's like a word relation game. But first 2 questions, then we'll get to that. Is what do you think, if someone was watching this interview, if they had to take one specific action they could do today to make a permanent, better decision for water, what would it be?
I would say get a refillable bottle and find a good source, a good drinking water where your water is purified, cleaner water. They, believe it or not, are everywhere. Sometimes it's a little bit of work. You have to get a 5-gallon jug, a 3-gallon jug. You fill up, you take it home, but you can trust the water. It's inexpensive. It's, like I said, it's a little bit more work, but it is better for you as a human being, and it's better for our planet.
I love that. How about yourself, Zach?
I would say start your day with a glass of water. End your day with a glass of water. That would be a great start.
You know, it's funny. I started doing that probably 3-4 years ago because I learned from Tony. Because I would get headaches during the day, and sometimes like we have these ailments and we think it's some sort of other thing, but whether people are sick, migraines, headaches, fatigue, low energy, constipated, like there's all sorts of stuff people think they have, but it's like if they just consume more water, their body would work more optimally, their brain would work more optimally, and so it's so funny that it's so simple, but most people just don't do it. You know what I mean? So I love that you say that. Do you put like a water by your bed at night or any kind of routines or rituals with water?
It's funny. I actually always have my water bottle, full, and so does my wife. We're right on our nightstand, both of us. Even my kids. My kids go to bed with them. But that's
awesome.
That's what we do. And I always tell my kids. I always tell friends, family. I get advice on fitness and whatnot. Today's hydration is for tomorrow's success. Whether you got a day, whether you got a test, whether you got a regular day, or where you have a marathon, today's hydration is for tomorrow's performance.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Well said. Well, cool. Before we wrap up, then we'll play a quick little game. The game's called First Things First. So the way the game works is it's like a word relation game. I'm going to say a word or phrase, and then you just tell me the word or phrase that comes to mind first. The only rule is that you guys can't repeat yourself.
Okay.
Make sense?
Okay.
All right. So who wants to go first? I'm going to do one at a time. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right. First one is Go H2O.
Clean. One word?
Word or phrase that comes to mind.
Reliable source of water.
Best advice you've ever been given by your dad.
Oh man, this is a good question.
Better be a good answer.
Man, there's so many. I got so many running through my brain right now.
First one that comes to mind.
Ooh. I would say be relentless. Be relentless in everything you do.
Oh. Hardest part of working with family.
Ooh. Hardest part.
This is your time to shine.
It is.
Hey, just put it out. I know the answers.
The hardest part about working with my family, man, I know everyone wants me to say there's something. I do got something. Okay.
Yeah.
Hardest part about working with my family, specifically with my dad,
Yeah.
I see him every single day. I coach on the weekends. He doesn't miss any of his grandkids. Nothing. Doesn't matter.
Right.
Business never stops. I'll get done coaching the game. I got my girls huddled up. I give a big speech. I'm sweating. I'm super animated. I love it. Yeah. I'm coming down off my high of coaching, whether we win, lose, right?
Yeah.
And I walk over and I got my whole family there. And this dude's like, hey, man, we got XYZ going on. I'm like, dang, dude, I can't even get a debrief right now. But it's
We got a new account with Trader Joe's or something.
I'll tell you what, it's always a blessing, though.
Yeah.
Work doesn't stop.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. In that is a lesson too. That's probably the relentless lesson, right?
It is.
Biggest takeaway that you've gotten from being on the inside of a successful business?
We like to, you're only as good as your team. One man can't do it all.
That's right.
And I was stuck in that earlier when it was just him and I, and we started bringing on new guys. I was in early 20s, we bring on, if we want to expand, you got to hire. And my thing was, man, you guys don't have the knowledge I have. You don't have the work ethic, the cleanliness. This means something to me. This is just an employee. I had to get out of that. And we always say we're only as good as the last person that touches the machine, meaning our technician. So cleanliness, everything. So team-oriented would be my biggest takeaway.
Biggest misconception people have about water?
I'm going to go back to the thing. You kind of hit it with the bottled water. It's a different label. That all water is the same, and it is not. All bottled water is not the same. And definitely all tap water is not the same.
The key to being a great coach?
I would say gonna sound a little cheesy. Positivity. Positivity is, I would say positivity and energy. You know, positive energy is huge. You know, everyone's dealing with something.
That's right.
Every single day, whether it's big or small, might be massive in their life, but I might hear about it. I'm like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. But that could be big in their life. And there, for an hour, for 2 hours, you get to come. You get to, whether you're lacing up your basketball shoes, getting on that court, lacing up your cleats, and getting on that soccer field for that hour. All that stuff is noise. It's white noise, and you get to enjoy. You get to learn. You get to do hard things with teammates, with friends, and then you get to see your hard work on those Saturdays, on those games.
Well said. How has fitness helped you in your life or business?
I would say, people believe me when I tell them about the water, because I live it. I truly do. It's no lie. You know, you could tell with my health, with my family's health, we're all in pretty good shape. My kids are great athletes. I don't have to sell you on it. I'm just like, hey, just look at us. Look at how we move. I can.
Congruent.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. I always tell my buddies, man, I need to, or my buddies tell me, you need to put a GoPro from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, because it's just water, hydration, and it really is. It's not a selling point. It's our life. It really is.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. And then the last two I have are, number one is passion. What does passion mean to you?
Passion to me is when you love something so much that you're willing to do anything for it. There's no obstacle, no hurdle that is going to stop me. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get around it. I'm going to get over it. Passion for me almost goes hand in hand with being relentless. Because I'm so passionate about something that nothing will stop me to get to where I want to be.
And then the last one, where do you see Go H2O 5 years, 10 years, and beyond down the road? As the next generation, where do you see yourself taking it?
Successful, expanding, but more importantly for me, I think putting the knowledge out there, really bringing the attention to everyone, how important hydration is, what you're putting in your water, right? Just your everyday life. We want to keep excelling, keep getting better, and 5-10 years from now, I hope to spread the knowledge that we share to everybody. And with that, if everyone has the knowledge we have, well, water sales will go up, Go H2O will be successful.
Yeah, and you'll be in all 50 states.
Yes,
Household name.
Yeah.
I love it. Well said. Now your turn. Rob, you ready?
Yes, sir.
You ready for the game?
Yes, sir.
All right, number one. The biggest limiting belief you've had to overcome to get to where you're at today.
Oh, man. I talk about this all the time. Biggest mistake I ever made, 18 years old. I told his mom, we were just talking about dreams. And I said, by the time I'm 30, my net worth will be more than 100 grand. And you have to understand back then, this was in 1990. You have to understand back then, 100 grand that could have been 100 million. Me,
Exactly.
And it seemed like just, if I could do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I hit 30 years old and she says, hey, congratulations. You did. I said, you did what? Then I hadn't lost sight of it. I didn't know what she was talking about at the time. Yeah. And she's like, well, your net worth more than 100 grand. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool. I wish I'd have failed. Honestly, I wish I would have failed.
Yeah.
I think I was worth net worth like 220,000, which wasn't, but at the time compared to, I said I wish I would have set it for $1 million and failed. Maybe I'd have been worth $750,000. I'd have taken that failure.
Yeah, there's a beautiful quote. It says, most people don't aim too high and miss, they aim too low and hit.
Yeah, that was me easily. And it was part of the belief system, which really evolved the mental aspect of my coaching. My ability to kind of say things. I had a kid with one of my favorite teams, but one of my worst teams ever. I think they won 5 games that year, and I had this kid who could shoot, but man, he just looked like a deer in the headlights every time. So we're playing a top 10 team in the state, and I get up and I walk by, and my guys loved it because I basically told them that I could beat anybody every day. Put Krzyzewski there, he's going to get it too. You know, that's just how that's how I function, because why believe anything else, you know? And so I made my team sit at certain times. It was halftime of the game before ours, and I start walking by, and I turn around and I tell the kid, I say, hey, I need 6. They're looking at each other, and I start to walk past them. Hey, coach. I'm like, what? He was like, six what? I said, I need 6 made threes in this game. For us to win, you got to make 6 threes. I said, don't worry, man. This is easy work for you. They play a zone. You'll be fine. I just need 6 made threes for us to win. And so I turned around to my assistant coach, Jeff Cooks, and I said, hey, man, make sure he shoots 12 threes. I said, because the second he misses 2, his second miss, he won't shoot again the rest of the game. I said, make sure he shoots a minimum of 12. And if he misses all 12, oh well.
Yeah,
but
so be
make sure he shoots 12. By the time halftime hit, he was 8 for 10.
Wow.
We beat the number, whatever they were, 9 team in the state, whatever.
Yeah.
And he ended up with, I think he had 11 threes in that game. And we got in the locker room. They were like, how did you know? And I was like, I didn't, you know. But no, I told the kids, I said, it wasn't that I knew. He needed to know that he could do that. He just didn't know he could do that. We needed it as a team.
You need to breathe belief
That's
into
exactly 100% right. And had I been that same 18-year-old, I wouldn't have been able to tell him that. You know, does that make sense? And so, yeah, that's your answer.
Yeah. The best advice you'd give to aspiring entrepreneurs?
Best advice for inspiring entrepreneurs, again, lean into the suck, and don't put limits on yourself. Literally chase that dream, and don't limit the dream. Understand that to walk on a cloud, there's going to be the feeling of falling. Otherwise, it just can't happen, right? And so embrace that, dive into it, educate yourself. Everybody can be successful. It just depends on who is willing to do the things to be successful, and be that. Educate yourself. I don't know everything. I will forever learn. I'll just tell you what my dad said. The second you think you know it all, hang up your whistle. Be done, because you don't. Everybody's passing you by. So become that guy. The other thing I would tell you is, what's the standard? He talked about our team being, we're as good as our team. So one of the things I tell my kids was, as a coach, you have a standard for a team, and every team's different, right? So like if you have a bunch of good players, your standard's higher, right? But that standard is averaged out to that team. So if I tell you, hey, this is what I expect from you as an individual, you better make that your standard from a coaching standpoint. But if you're my kid, your standard just went up. So as a coach, I told you I need 500 makes a day. But now you got to take it to 600, because this is my standard for you on our team's average. But you better average up if you're my kid. Otherwise, we're not. Why be average? Why be like, if you're an entrepreneur, you can't be like everybody else. There's one of us in my company. There's one entrepreneur in my company, but I need everybody else for us all to be successful, right? So not everybody gets to be that. And when I say gets to be that, you better have thick skin. You better be ready to average up. You better be ready to play in the mud if that's what you've got to do.
Worst advice you've ever been given?
Oh man, worst advice I've ever been given. This is going to really be different, because the worst advice I was given was, pay attention to politically correct. Because when you start going against politically correct, you start to lose. And I thought about that for the longest time, and politically correct isn't always the right thing.
Trump defied that.
Yeah, he sure did. But I even with that kind of thing, which is why this is the beauty of me being in the industry that I'm in, with water being for everyone. There were a lot of things 100 years ago that were politically correct that today you go to jail for. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't happen, right? So being politically correct is probably the worst advice I was given. And I understood the context that he said it in. But in an overall statement, if you're trying to be politically correct, you become a fad. You're only going to be successful during that phase of political correctness. When in fact, if you are humanly correct, if you're doing what's best for humanity, you're making better decisions for the future of yours and the people around you that aren't going to affect them in a bad way, you'll be fine, even if it's not always 100% politically correct. I talked to, you asked him about passion and what that meant. I had somebody talking to me the other day, and he was like, well, he used a phrase that's pretty popular on social media right now. He says, a lot of people say they're willing to die for what they love, but they're not willing to live for it right now. And I told him, I was like, this has been me forever. This is how my dad was. This is where our family was. Every day I'm living for what I'm passionate about. I'm living for my kids, my family, you know what I mean? I'm living for them. And that's the first part of it. The second part of it is I don't want to die for anybody, but if we're in harm's way, I'll kill for you first. And that's how I coach too. I told my kids, I said, I am the head of the spear. I will penetrate the heart first, I promise you. You know what I mean? I said, I'll kill for you first. And then if I have to die for you, well, then that's third. I'll handle that.
Yeah.
But that embodies but if you're not living for them, how can you say you'll die for them? Living for them is probably harder. Dying for them is once. You know what I mean? This is every day.
Yeah.
And then killing for them is having the courage to protect and believe what you've done and set out for, and having built that every day so that you can do for them in a way that they will translate for their kids and their kids.
Absolutely, the ripple effect.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. And then the last question, you ready?
Yes, sir.
When you're dead gone, nothing but a pile of dust, what do you hope your life's work and Go H2O was all about?
Wow, that's a really good one. One that I think about recently. Maybe it's because I'm getting older. I don't know. You start to think, you start to have different ideas.
How old are you now?
53.
You look great, man.
53. Thank you. Thank you.
It's got to be the water.
It's the water. It's definitely the water. So what I want to be known for, that I walked the talk. There's one particular thing that I want to be known for in particular, and that's being accountable. I'm a man, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a grandpa, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a CEO. I was a coach, I'm in a lot of leadership places. And one of the most adult things, but as a man, as a dad, as a leader, one of the most masculine things I think you can do, and I want to be known for this, is being accountable. It's one of the it sucks to be accountable. When it's cool when you're getting credit, but man, when you mess up, to point at that and be like, yeah, that was my fault. And you get to a place where when you're accountable, and then you come with a solution. That's what I want to be. I want to be known for being not perfect. I don't want to be known for all the good things. I don't want to even pay attention to all the good things. I want to be known for being something that they can be. And every single one of my kids can be accountable because they're going to do something wrong. They're going to mess up. It's human nature. But to be accountable makes you exceptional to me. You know what I mean? It doesn't always have to be public. Sometimes that stuff's a hard pill to swallow.
Right.
But when you can be accountable to the ones that you love, you can find a solution for, improve yourself, and that's the next piece of it. He did it better tomorrow than he did it yesterday. And that will be till I dive in the grave. We will be better tomorrow than we were yesterday. No ifs, ands, or buts.
I love it, my man. Rob, thank you so much for
Yes,
doing
sir.
the pod. Zach, it's been a pleasure. Where can people find you guys if they want to get in touch and learn more about Go H2O before we wrap up?
GoH2O.com. Instagram, GoH2O.co. Same with Facebook. We are really, this podcast was the kickoff for what we're about to do. You're going to see a bunch of content come out from us, our new products coming out, a bunch of changes to the website. The other thing is, if you are a business, if you're a location customer, you're a C-store, grocery store, and you want your own water vending equipment, you have your own accessory to your business, we do that too. We provide those, sell those, rent them, provide the service. A lot of good things for everybody, not just the end user.
I love that. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and check out Go H2O in the description down below, as well as other links so that you can learn more. Until next time, live strong, live with passion, go chase those dreams, and most importantly, stay hydrated without the plastics. We'll see you guys on the next episode.